fast, little dudette! Sorry about this. Nothing personal.
You know, I've made over a fucking 1,000 videos on video games. Over 1,000. And there's always more. You know, there's always more. There's always more to explore. And I just want you to think about how weird the idea of causality is and how it led me and you to this situation where you are watching a man commentate over an English translation of a Japanese shoot-'em-up, and we're inside a giant two-headed worm right now. And I just want you to think about that. I just want you to think about the absurdity of existence and the absurdity of the existence of my channel. And I want you to think about these things while we fight this cool spider mini-boss. This spider is a normal type and it has two notable attacks. It can fire a shot at us, or it can attach a web line to our face and send a bug after us, which we can reflect back. Both attacks are satisfying to reflect, but obviously the one where we reflect the bug back at the spider bot is more satisfying. Yeah, that's pretty good. You only see that enemy type once, like most of the enemy types in this game. Only see it once, and then it goes away forever. In case you're wondering, if we chose to go left, back there, the other side of the worm head would swallow us, and then we'd just go through the stage the other way. You'd fight the same enemies and bosses, though. It feels so weird to call any of the levels in this game levels. I mean, I know the game calls them levels. You know, it does that. But I don't really feel like they're levels anymore. I feel like all the levels, anything that isn't a mid-boss or boss, is just there so that you can't call this game a boss rush, technically, even though it's only like an hour and a half long and has 20 boss battles in it. Like, here's another mid-boss right here.
Witness our power, microbe!
So this guy's surprise is also pretty cool. He has a few neat gimmicks. He can change the attribute of his soldiers to either Silhouette, Mirage, or Normal type. And we can only harm him by reflecting shots of his own back at him, or shots of his soldiers back at him. But mostly his shots. The easiest way to kill him is to get lucky and stand near him while he's using his bomb attack, so you can reflect his bombs back at him, because those deal the most damage. You can kill the boss in 30 seconds or less if he uses that bomb attack consistently enough while you're reflecting. It doesn't always turn out that way, though, as you're seeing here. Oh, there's the bomb attack now. Unfortunately, he wasn't standing close enough to get hit by all of them. But this is still good. This is still much better than it could... Yeah, this is still much better than it could be going. This fight can take a really long time if he decides never to come near you. I mean, you could, theoretically, always go to him instead. And normally I might do that, but we're trying to not die. Now, we do have continues, but there's a very specific reason we don't want to use those continues. And you know, there's another boss after this one, and then another boss after that. So we really need to not die if we're not going to use any continues. There's no shops for a while. I guess we are near the end of the game, though. You know, the game goes fast, but you could probably guess by the pacing that we're near the end and the character dialogue, so yes, get closer. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I wanted. Now just do it a couple more times if you could. I wonder why this guy has coins. I can't fathom why this guy would have coins. I know his name, I looked it up before, but I don't remember it now. And yes, I do think the voice acting in this game is really cute and great. But that doesn't make the translation good or the design changes they made good. You know, I'd rather have a faithful translation with this awesome voice acting. And maybe you could turn the characters back to normal. Come on, man, you're almost dead. Just a little more. Come on. Just hit me some more so that way your hits can hit you. It's a good thing the AI isn't actually intelligent, or it might not attack into my reflector.
Attribute wave.
He seems to choose his attacks fucking randomly. Oh, and one of the enemies is outside of the level boundary. I did not know that could happen. That's new. You learn something new about this game all the time. And I'm not just saying that facetiously. I mean, you learn new things about this game all the time. I've been playing it since I was young, and I still don't know everything about it.
Damage.
Thank God he's dead.
Power depleted. Initiate self-destruct mode. Time to test your metal.
You can't do that, Working Designs. You can't be proud of your expansive vocabulary and then also make fun of a character for utilizing that vocabulary. And I know you're proud of your expansive vocabulary because you make unnecessary use of it at the expense of the characters. Alright, you know, the writers of Pac-Man World 3 also had an expansive vocabulary and a great understanding of the English language, but they didn't abuse it for humorous effect. Anyway, Megiddo is kind of hard to fight. He's kind of hard to fight. He has a lot of attacks that drain your spirit energy really, really fast, and it's a pain in the ass, and I don't like it. Because we need our spirit energy much... Are you done? You done throwing those? Because we need our spirit energy much higher than this in order to kill him quickly. Not to mention we have a very important date after this fight that we need to get to. So while his anime attacks may be extremely impressive, it's not ideal. You know, all the dumb commentary Working Designs likes to squeeze in about the games they translate, and they couldn't bother to comment on the fact that 2 of the bosses self-destructed so far? In a game this short, that just comes across as a little odd. Like maybe they were doing a recurring theme or something. Especially since both of the characters were incredibly minor. You know, Faust and that robot dude I can't remember the name of aren't exactly important characters. I swear, the enemies, the bosses, they just choose their attacks at random, I fucking swear. Because what else would this be? Why does he keep running off of the platform? I get why you would want them to randomly choose their attacks, and the attacks are reasonably well telegraphed. But with a character with as many movement options as Megiddo, you might want to make it so Megiddo doesn't jump off the platform and hurt himself. Because he does that a lot.
Oh, you are good.
power status critical.
So this fucker is an entirely optional boss, almost entirely unrelated to the story. You never have to fight him, but we're fighting him because why wouldn't we? He switches between normal and silhouette attributes whenever the fuck he feels like it, but his attacks are always silhouette type unless we're getting run over by his fucking horse. His fucking horse is the only real attack that's a problem, by the way. Everything else he does like this, right here, this looks really fucking cool. It looks really cool, but it's useless. It doesn't hurt. You just stand in the corner and reflect. The only time you're in any real danger is when he tries to run you over with that fucking horse. Anyway, in case you're curious how to activate this optional boss, you have to make it past the Megiddo boss fight without using a single continue. Then you'll be transported here and you have to answer his questions correctly. Then you'll be able to fight him. Considering he's supposed to be an optional challenge boss that pushes your skills to their limit, he's not that tough. There are harder fights than him. Granted, as a kid I thought fighting him was completely absurd, but now that I know how to use my brain, it's not such a problem. It's just a matter of patience, I guess, you know? I do think it's fun that he uses the same theme as Goliath because I really like that theme and you don't really get to hear it in full as Goliath, which is a shame. I don't think most people would hear this theme fully because I don't think most people would make it to this guy. Because even though I consider this game to be pretty easy, there's a reason you have 9 continues. And that's because making it here without losing one of them is pretty hard. Anyway, this fight is okay, it's not all it's cracked up to be, but finding this fight makes it feel really special, I can tell you that much, because you're like, holy shit, what is this? This isn't normal.
Caution, power status critical. Caution, power status critical.
I think it's cute that the game warns us so heavily about almost every encounter. I mean, it makes sense in-universe why that would happen. But it's not like the bosses or enemies have difficult gimmicks to figure out or anything, they're pretty simple. I mean, I guess to be fair, this game's premise and its game mechanics are pretty unusual, and being able to switch your polarity and the polarity of your shots like this is kind of unprecedented for the time period. But after you get the gist of it, you know, it's pretty easy to figure out how to tackle everyone. Anyway, here's a shop finally, after that onslaught of bosses without any healing. As you can see, we have more than enough money. So yeah, grinding as much as I did was not necessary, but I did it anyway just to be sure. You know, we are trying to 100% this game, and that may not take a long time, but let's not make it take longer than it has to. It's so weird seeing these walkers again. I mean, I guess to be fair, it's 2 of them this time, but the game rarely reuses enemies, and the enemies aren't really important. The normal enemies, I mean. So it's weird to see the walkers again, like they'd be any kind of challenge. Because they aren't. They're not challenging. They're pretty dumb. I like being able to push them back with our shot. I think that's funny. I wish it would fire at me, though, so that way I could kill it and we could move on to another boss battle. Because that's what this game is about, is the boss fights, if that's not clear. It's about really creative and weird boss battles. So if we could get there faster, that'd be great. Thanks. This music for this section always reminds me of Smash Brothers for some reason, and I can't tell you why. You know, it really sucks when you open your video editor and you're like, alright, I've got this. We're near the end of the game, I just need to record the final few levels and the endings. And you can totally do that, you know? But then you're like, God, I'm so tired and depressed after you finish one level. You're like, oh man, the weight of my depression is crushing me, and I don't want to be here right now, and I really just want to go back to bed instead of talking over Silhouette Mirage. But at the same time, you don't want to do anything more than talk over Silhouette Mirage. And you tell bedtime you're just gonna have to fucking wait a little bit until I'm done making videos. I know you want a nap. Everybody likes naps. It's not nap time. It can be nap time after you're done rendering, uploading, and making thumbnails for this video. Then it can be nap time. Alright, nap time is after you do stuff, not before. It can be both, I guess, as long as you do the do stuff part. Oh hey, the video's almost over. We just need to make it through these rocks, which you can do with the duck dash.